All right, guys, how are you doing today? Mr. Stevenson. If you guys want to work on lined paper, work with it with the lines going up. We're going to talk about perspective. Specifically, we're going to talk about 2-point perspective. The important thing to do when we're starting this is to have your lines parallel to the top of the page. So you need to have a dot way to the left and a dot way to the right, roughly equal distance from the top of the page. And it needs to be equal distance to the top of the page because we want these lines here to remain up and down vertical. We are going to start by drawing a line. It doesn't really matter where, just as long as we have a vertical line that is on one of these blue lines. Perspective is the way we see things. We're working with the 2-point perspective, which means we have 2 vanishing points, one here where we made a dot, one here where we made a dot. All of our lines today are going to be either vertical on one of these blue lines, or they're going to be connecting to one of these 2 vanishing points, the left or the right. So we made the front corner of a shape here. Next, we're going to go from the top to the right vanishing point with the line. This can be a lighter line. And same thing with the left. Once again, this can be a lighter line. We can use a ruler, sheet of paper, anything straight. Same thing with the bottom. The bottom line of this front vertical line we made. To the left vanishing line. And to the right vanishing point. Next thing we're going to think about doing. Another point to finish this left side of our cube or building. What we want to remember is the height is going to be determined by the top and bottom vanishing point line. It's going to go from here, where the vanishing point line is, up to here. Same thing over here. Next thing we're going to do, same thing again. Go from this corner where the top vertical line hits the vanishing line. Same thing over here. From where the top, that vertical line hits our vanishing line. Tracing over the lines that we've just drawn based on the guidelines. Then we have a cube. If we want to draw something a little taller, we can start again. I'm just drawing in a different color to make it a little easier for you to see. The closer we get the top of our building or cube to our vanishing point lines, the more compressed this top area is going to be. So if we were way down here, we'd have a really big square top of a building or a cube. If we're up here, we're going to see very little of it. If we went all the way up here, we wouldn't even see any of it. But we're gonna do our guideline, All of our lines, remember, are going to be on one of these blue lines, or are they going to be back to a vanishing point? That's the only two lines we're making today. Vanishing point lines and vertical lines. Vertical, parallel to the blue. Once again, vertical, parallel to the blue. Our height is defined by our vanishing line. Like I was saying a second ago, the closer we get to here, the smaller that's going to get until we get to a certain point. And we are at that point right now where we will not see a top to this, because we literally are above the vanishing point. So this is like we're standing down here looking up at a building. We don't see a roof when we're standing below a building, do we? The line to bottom. Vertical. Vertical. So go up, 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 up. Make one last one down here at the bottom. And I think you guys kind of get the idea. We made it front line. Once we have that front line, we have a top that goes to a left and a right vanishing point. And a bottom that goes to a left and a right. Vanishing point. How deep is the left and the right side of this building or block? We get to decide that. Remember, it is straight up and down. It should be parallel to the lines on your paper. We go from that corner on the top left. We go from that corner on the top right. And that will give us the definition of the back corner and line. So really we're just playing around with 2-point perspective. That's what we did with the kids in class. That's what you guys can do at home. I want you guys to do more than just a singular box. Play around with the idea of it. See what you can get. Remember, we start every shape by laying down a front corner. And then we go from the bottom to the left vanishing point, from the top to the left vanishing point. Same thing with to the right. Bottom corner to the right. Top corner to the right. And it's fine if you only have one pencil. I'm just doing it in multiple colors here because it tends to add some clarity. Make stuff a little bit easier for you guys to see on videos because this is complex. If you guys aren't getting it, it's not a big deal. Just email me and we'll try to figure out another way to get you to understand it. There we go. 2-point perspective. Try some 2-point perspective this week. Honestly, that's what we did in class. We went around, we talked about it, we looked at it. Up top, you're not gonna see the top of a building. Down here, if we went really low, how low can we go? Can we go down low? Lowest possible place is gonna have the biggest top of a building visible. So to the left, we go to the right. We see a lot of the top when the thing is really low. We don't see any of the top when it's above. If we went even taller here, we would see just barely a little point. Our front edge was right here. We would just see two-point perspective. 2-point perspective refers to our two vanishing points on the left and the right. And we will take this and be able to extrapolate on it and think about drawing architecture, think about drawing windows, and think about how when things recede into the distance, how do we draw it? So if we were talking about windows or something on this blue brick cube here, we'd be able to look at it and remember we stay vertical. Think about how it recedes into the background. We would know roughly how to make that shape. There were stripes on the building by just pivoting off of this. We get to define the size of the stripes, but also we get to have them go from wide on the left front corner here to more narrow in the back. Because when something is up close to us, it's big. If it goes back further, it gets smaller. Complex ideas. I know it's something new to you guys. I want you to try it. send me a picture of what's going on with your 2-point perspective.